See, having a routine, having habits that you connect to every single day is what's critical. So let me give you a little bit insights of how I start my day, and think about yourself. How do you start your day? So first thing I want you to do is just check the first conscious thought that hits your brain tomorrow morning. Okay? When you wake up, I want you to be in the observer space. This is the observer mind. This is the part of you that's watching you watch me right now. Okay? That's the observer mind. And just ask yourself, what state am I in? That's all I want you to do. I want you to be in this observer mind and observe the state that you wake up in. Now, here I want you to do is put it into two buckets. It's very simple. You're either waking up in a suffering state or you're waking up in a beautiful state. Just observe yourself. See what the first conscious thought really is. See if it's like, I got to check my cell phone, the email I need to respond to, who texted me that I'm worried about. See if that's your first thought. If it's not a beautiful thought, and my beautiful thoughts are first off, hey, I'm alive, I'm breathing. Don't forget how precious it is to take a breath. That's one of the highest forms of awareness is just, am I even breathing? Why? Because unconsciously, subconsciously, the brain is trying to make things simple for us. We don't even realize that we're breathing. But bring it up to the consciousness when you want, and you'll go, wow, that's pretty special. I can breathe today. Okay, so just check, what are you grateful for? And that's what I want you to ask yourself. What am I grateful for in the present moment? Now, let's say it's not a beautiful thought. Let's say it's a suffering thought. What you do is what I've done in aviation, I learned it really well, it's called compartmentalization. The way I like to think about it is this: you take that thought and you just move it into the back of your head, okay? And what I mean by that is you tell yourself, you tell your own brain, okay, hey, I hear you, don't worry. We're gonna get back to that thought. Whatever you're anxious about, whatever has got you upset, we'll get back to that. Just not right now, just not right now. And you put it in the back of your head. That'll allow it to calm down. And then ask yourself, what am I grateful for? I call it my glad to be here wake up. 3 things. Number 1, what am I grateful for in the present moment? So I want you to do what I was saying. Am I waking up in my house? I travel the world. I'm going to Europe here tomorrow. And I love waking up in new places. It's adventure to me, right? But the point is, what are you grateful for in the present moment? All right, that's number 1. At least pick about 3 things, all right? And here's what I want you to do. I want you to make them emotional. Okay, try not to just be here. Say, wow, it smells good. Or for me, like I live in Sun Valley, Idaho. This morning I woke up and there's a beautiful morning, the sun coming up and these beautiful mountains behind me. And I'm like, wow, this is a good way to wake up. All right, so 3 things in the present moment. All right, then what I want you to do, and this is really important, is go back to yesterday. Okay, and just in your mind, and by the way, you're still laying in bed right now, okay? Go back to yesterday and say, what happened yesterday that I have something to be grateful for? I like to think about people, not events as far as our thoughts. I want experiences, right? I want to see the smile on my wife's face. I want to see the smile on my doggy as he jumps up to greet me, right? I want to see the smile on someone's face when I opened the door for them, or when you had a briefing call with a client and it went real well. So I'll go back to yesterday and I'll just replay the tape in my head and I'll start to pull out those magical moments of joy. And that's what I want. I just want joyful moments, okay? And all you do is plant the seed in your head. It's already there. You just re-acknowledge it, all right? And then the third step is go forward in your day. This is real important, because this is going to be, how do you set your day? What's the intention that you want in your day? So I set intentions.
So focused on what I was doing, and by having that focus without distraction, to blur that focus was crucial, and that gave me a sense of peace, that I was able to stay on task. Now, how do you get to that level? Get back to the word trust of your team, of those around you, that they're going to be having that same focus without distraction, and that you can count on them not to be a distraction, just as they can count on me to be consistent. That mental state where you've knocked all the distractions out. Everything now becomes what we're about to do and what we're getting in to do. That focus, that zone, right? That zone of activity. You're prepared to go and do this, and you've trained to it. You've got your belief levels established that you can do it. So once you get to that level, once you get to that point, you're in a good place to feel some calmness in what you're about to do. Now, I say calm, but you're always ready for something that changes. Now, how you react to that is important. If you overreact to a distraction that is just maybe a part of doing what you're doing, something that comes into the field of view, if you overreact, sometimes that can cause more problems than just saying, okay, what is that? How do I handle that? What do I need to do with that? It doesn't necessarily mean, you got to go a different direction, jump to a new conclusion. Hold what you got. Don't flinch. So there's going to be distractions, but you just have to be able to understand what they are and how you're going to react to them. And that's another thing about briefing. You do this risk mitigation because you take into consideration all these things that are going to be risk. And as a leader, how you react to the distractions was something your crew, your team could count on, the fact that you wouldn't overreact, that you wouldn't flinch. Calm. How did you stay calm in that incredibly intense environment? You stayed calm because you had prepared. You knew what you were going to do when things changed, and you were confident in your own abilities.
Smoke off. Coming right. Wings are level. Smoke on. Boom. A little more. Adding power. Easing the pull. Easing power. Easing more power.
I think calm can be defined in a lot of different ways, but one thing to think about with calm, I often get the question when they see my videos and hear me in flight, how calm my voice is. Well, I maintain that calmness to have that effect on others, right? I want them to know that, okay, ease and the pull, rolling out the diamond roll. Up we go. And you maintain that calmness in it, and it lets those around you be calm. But it also gives you that reserve. If I'm coming down the bottom of a loop and I'm saying, a little pull to bottom out above the ground, got to hopefully above the ground, of course, a little pull, and they know the nose is going to come up and we're going to clear that. If I look down and I see it's going to be, I'm a little steeper than I want to be, I'm a little lower than I want to be, I'll go a little pull. So you can modify the calmness of your voice with a great effect of alerting others around you that, okay, it's gonna get a little tougher here. And that's beautiful in the way that works, right? You keep the calmness and then you have a calm response to what's going to happen. Another thing that would happen out there is sometimes the air would get really bumpy, right? And if I were to, this is my control stick, this is how I make the airplane move up and down, left and right, and all that stuff. If I were to feel that bump and go, boom, we got bumped up, oh, I got to push down, that would be bad news. So I would just let that bump push me up, and knowing that that air would change again and we would settle back down. I didn't move the control stick, so those around me didn't have to move. They just rose up with the bumpiness and then back down, up and down, up and down. So it's challenging, but you stay calm regardless of the things around you. You have to be able to handle things though, and hopefully you've talked about it ahead of time. If you haven't, the way you train and the way you react is also something that you develop as you refine the way you fly and the way you do things. So
Sometimes we start out one place and we end up another. Everyone should stop and think to themselves, am I doing something I love? Is this my passion? If you take your passion and turn it into a profession, you'll never work. You'll so enjoy what you're doing. Your level of achievement will just keep going up by virtue of you getting better at what you do. And so I think if we all were to stop and say, are my reps getting me where I'm expecting or hoping to go? Are they in line with the dreams? Am I realizing the level of effort that I'm putting out? And sometimes it's rather futile. It's that squirrel that's on the wheel and goes round and round, and you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. And that might be a time where we pivot. We go to a different pursuit. Change your career. Go into some unknown area. Because sometimes we'll just stumble on something that we're really good at. You're not passionate about something, it's a good chance you're not going to conquer it or achieve at the level that you hope to. So again, passion and profession, if you can link those two, it's a powerful thought. It will become pretty easy after a while to be successful in that pursuit. You've got to be disciplined in just about everything that you do. Now, I was watching NBA championship game, and the thing that I pulled out of that interview with their superstar that was the MVP was his discipline. You know, you've got to be motivated. Let's just say that. Motivation has got to be that internal, get you going. But that pursuit is discipline. It's a disciplined approach to that getting up early and getting going and giving it your best effort every day, having a plan to help you achieve that. And it's just interesting that a young man would do that so quickly in his career and achieve it at the world-class level. But it was always within teammates, bringing them into that alignment with him and having them all go into that same belief level. I thought it was fascinating that it's no different than what we saw on the carrier in completing a mission, or the Blue Angels doing what they do, or an NBA team. How do you do that? It's through discipline, dedication, and then you've got to stay motivated. Even when life gives you, some sour grapes along the way and you stumble, but it's a matter of getting back up and getting going all over again. So it's fascinating how a disciplined approach to just about anything that we do, whether it's our work or sport or family relationship, it's a disciplined with an energetic approach. And again, the gratitude. I heard nothing but gratitude come out, with this big win that the Thunder had. So it was fascinating. It's very similar to just about what any organization would want, with that discipline coupled with highly motivated individuals.
One of the things that has helped me more to implement this is things that I learned through the time serving, and I went through certain parts of my development as a naval officer that were hard, and the way that I got through them was to focusing on the small win. You have to, if you really focus on small wins, you're going to motivate yourself to change. And I actually narrow things down even smaller. When I was in the service, I was like, hey, I'm going to survive this training until breakfast. And if I achieve that, I'm going to celebrate that, and I'm going to go until lunch, and I'm going to go until dinner, and things like that. And I do things like that. Focusing on small wins, but more often, will help you motivate yourself to change. And you're going to look back, and once you accumulate all those things, it quickly builds up to what you wanted to be in the first place. But you celebrate yourself through the journey so much more that you're constantly just motivating yourself to do better and better and better. So what I think is most important is, hey, look at not only achievable goals, but what can you achieve today? What can you do today to implement change in yourself and in others, that it's going to be easy to look tomorrow and see, that happened. So I think that's most important. So I talk about the AAA being three things: attitude, glad to be here mindset; aptitude, being the laws of combat. And the last one is the my flawless execution model. And the base of that is, what is your desired destination? Give yourself a long-term goal. And I just said, I kind of talked about short things, but where you want to be, who's the person you aspire to be, or what is it that you want to do? Set something up that is achievable in 12 to 18 months of what the outcome, the very big outcome in life or professionally that you want. And then identify 3 areas of focus of things that you can achieve between now and 6 months from now that are main contributors to achieving your destination, your desired destination goal. And after that, you have now 3. So I get 1 destination, 3 areas of focus. Find out the small wins that you can do for each of those areas that you can start achieving today, and start chipping away things that you can do little by little to get to that 6-month mark. That's going to help you to be on your 18-month mark. That works professionally really well, and for me it works really in my personal life, and that might mean like, hey, I want to for me has been like I want to reconcile with my partner, and and these are the things that I'm going to do. I'm going to build a high level plan, and I'm going to get there by doing this, and then I want to demonstrate that I'm going to get there by every day doing these little things that I'm going to do.
Let me show you how to fail without fear. See, failure has always been part of the journey. When I first started out on the Blue Angels, you get to witness firsthand what it's like to actually fly the flight demonstration. I got to see it from the back seat. And in that moment, I was blown away with what I saw. And I was filled with doubt. I think doubt is in many ways the absence of confidence. When I first saw the Blue Angels fly from the back seat, I had no confidence in myself to do what I was seeing. But I realized that by putting in the work, that hard work has a dilutive effect on doubt. And as you put in that work, you're distancing yourself from doubt. You're growing in confidence. You're reducing fear. And failure is just part of that process, one you just learn to accept. Because failure is recognition in where you need to grow. And understanding you have a problem is step 1, right? Knowing that you need to grow is the first component of that. And then just taking that step forward. And if you do that intentionally, there's an iterative process that takes place that allows you to continually grow and improve to where doubt, while you can never fully eliminate it, its effect relative to your ability is minuscule and one day irrelevant, because you grow in your confidence and your ability to do the job, your ability to improve. And the beauty of it is there's this process that we teach, this process of removing that doubt, this process that will give you confidence, because you know that if you trust in this process, no matter what you're undertaking, you will be able to distance yourself rather quickly from doubt. Replace fear with confidence.
Being scared's okay, all right? I'm scared all the time, all right? Fear is a choice, though. And you don't really want to choose fear. I like to choose being scared. Scared's a little hair stand up on the back of your neck. This is awareness. Such a critical skill to have awareness. Self-awareness, also situational awareness. It's taught in fighter pilot speak is you got to have situational awareness. Sun Tzu talked about know yourself, know your enemy. If you only know one of those and you go into battle, good luck. You may win, you may lose. If you know both of them, you will always win, because you either won't go into battle at that moment or you will and you'll win, right? So it's important to know your situational awareness. The idea of scared to me is being aware. Don't walk down a dark alley late at night. Okay, sometimes you can. Other times it just doesn't feel right. You ever been in that situation? I mean, it just doesn't feel right. Guess what? Trust your instincts. There's probably a reason it doesn't feel right. We've got all kinds of beautiful eons of human development as a way to help you figure this stuff out, right? So trust it, right? The other idea, though, that I want to share on being scared is usually when you're outside your comfort zone, when you're pushing the limits. I don't care if it's flying jets on the very edge or if it's growing your business, trying to start a new thing. You can feel that uncertainty, and that's okay. So what do? Is you realize that scared is coming this way. Scared's coming from you. This is you identifying or labeling a situation based on the information you have. And by the way, I guarantee you it's not complete, but you're making the best choices you can, all right? That's good, all right? Be aware of that. Be aware of what inputs you're taking, and be okay with being scared. I'm scared all the time. I love it. When I'm riding my motorcycles, but we got the Salmon River, and it's the headwaters, and I'm riding my motorcycles through those turns. And let me tell you, you never want to ride at 100%. You got to be aware of your surroundings, okay? Scared's coming this way. It's okay. I'm labeling something that way. What's fear? Fear's different. Fear's coming this way. You watch. I guarantee you the next time you feel fear, it'll feel like a force coming at you, something out of your control. And what's the result of that feeling? Stuckness. Watch it, okay? Watch it in yourself. You can see it in teams, you see it in companies. Heck, you can see it in nations right now, okay? That's this way. So the idea here is just be aware, what's the feeling? Is it fear? And that's a choice. That's how I'm labeling this, okay? Or is it this way? Am I scared? And scared's okay, man. In fact, I love challenging myself and wanting to be scared, but be smart, because it's easy to hurt yourself. That's not hard, okay? What's hard is to be on that edge and ride that edge.